What? What are we doing?
I don't really know. I don't really know how this is gonna go or what this is.
Speaking of not knowing what we're doing, we're the Bittersweet Gamers.
Or, as may be more appropriate, the Bittersweet Readers?
Join us on our very first Let's Read.
I guess? We really have no idea what we're getting into. I'm the Opinionator.
I'm We Squared. Now that you have already clicked away.
Now, for those 7 of you who haven't yet clicked away due to our indecision and lack of confidence, let's move on.
I'm really excited to find out more about Mukuro Ikusaba, the 16th student hidden somewhere in the school. Watch out for.
You are not. You just wanted an excuse to say that.
I'll take any excuse to say that.
In all seriousness, if you haven't seen our FTE video with Mukuro,
Then watch it.
we're not going to rehash everything we said in it, but we actually talked at length about Mukuro and really enjoyed those FTEs. They were way better than they should have been,
Certainly more than we were expecting.
and definitely gave us a different perspective on her. So they made us like her a lot. Now, it's entirely possible that we'll completely change our minds from reading this, but that's the risk. You rolls your dice, you takes your chances, you places your bets, but you place your bets before you takes your chances.
That's how betting works, yeah.
I don't know what's going on. I think we made that clear. That's why everyone's gone. Okay!
No, Mukuro, don't shoot your sister! Or yourself!
That's
as the case may
Mukuro.
be.
That's also a very... look on her face, isn't it? Is that what this is?
Is that the kind of thing we're getting ourselves into?
Okay, well, we'll just stop if that happens. Let's do the character introduction.
The Button of Hope and the Tragic Warriors of Despair.
The Button of Hope and the Tragic Warriors of Despair? Is this like a Harry Potter novel?
You're a wizard, Naegi!
That's the dumbest sounding title I've ever heard. Okay, so... I see. So
That's awesome.
I guess what this really means is that all the... Ultimate question mark, I see. I guess what this really means is that... I'm sorry, I was just distracted by all the donuts.
Uh-huh, sure, that's what it was.
We recently had said how sad we were to never have an excuse to spend any time with the characters of Danganronpa 1 again, and so I guess actually we're getting to do that.
That's pretty awesome.
If Monokuma Theater, then what? We only have the first half of a statement here. Like, if theater, then break glass? You know, like emergency in case of fire, if fire, break glass, if Monokuma Theater, runaway screaming?
Step 1, if Monokuma Theater. Step 2, Step 3, profit.
That's it, isn't it? Monokuma's monologue.
The world is full of ifs. If Adam hadn't tied the knot with Eve, society as we know it would never have been born. The world that everyone lives in is just one outcome among countless ifs, and will continue to be a muddled world overflowing with infinite ifs. That's right, this is an alternate universe fan fiction.
What the heck is the point?
If is what's in miso soup, you know?
No, it isn't.
What lies beyond this point is a scary world filled with iffy stepfathers who abandoned their family.
What?
A Klein bottle where the inside and the outside are filled with uncertainty.
What?
Ah, but don't break it, okay? It'd be so expensive that there's no way you'd ever be able to pay me back.
Is this book threatening us?
But no matter how you look at it, ifs are simply worlds like any other.
So this is alternate universe fan fiction.
No matter how hypothetical the story may be, the future is the only thing that's truly foggy. And the past is more solid than a frozen banana.
The past is more solid than a frozen banana?
That's what I said!
Is a banana that's frozen especially solid? Or is it not very solid? I'm just saying, I don't know what he means here.
They certainly lack appeal.
No, you idiot. They have appeal. The peel is frozen.
You can't change a conclusion that has already happened.
Unless you reload your save. Were you trying to communicate? You're really bad at this.
Even if you see a world that may have existed, it wouldn't affect the people living in reality. Because if is only if, after all. Even if a parallel world exists where a particular if actually happens.
I swear to God, if you say if like that one more time, I will kill you while the microphone is going. I will pull out a knife and I will stab your heart, and then I will pull out your heart and feed it to the cat.
Humans cannot cross the boundaries between worlds that easily. No matter how far if goes, it will always be a what-if scenario.
Excuse me?
Is that better?
No!
Do you really want to see that? You've got some sick interests. Don't you think that's an insult to Makoto and the others after the tragedy they overcame?
So he's basically saying this is a work of fan fiction. Fan fiction sucks, so why are you wasting your time?
That does in fact seem to be what he's saying, yes.
You know, one of the special features on the original Japanese release of the Victory Gundam DVDs was a segment where the director, writer, and creator, Yoshiyuki Tomino, said, "Victory Gundam is really bad and I don't like it, so you shouldn't buy this DVD set." But the thing is the only way to watch it is to have bought the DVD set.
That's pretty excellent.
Actually, it's all right. It just depends on your taste. It's not bad, though. I think it's kind of good.
Are you done talking about robots? Says the robot. Though as far as I'm concerned, I'll still insult them. If you're gonna look at if, I think it's better if you view the outside of the Klein bottle first. Play the games! It might even be better if you view the ending of a video game called Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc.
All right, I told you to stop reading it like that.
Oh God, no!
You didn't stop. I don't know, man. Something about hearing you talk like that, in that sort of a voice, it just reminds me that stab! 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 Stab!
Try to play it multiple times and spend your free time with Junko and Oshima at least 3 times too.
Yeah, we already did that. That's why I said go watch our FTE video.
It may be ideal if you can collect all the items and movies too. But if you guys have come this far, I'm sure you've already done all that.
Huh, why do you need all the items and movies? I guess we haven't done that.
I guess we haven't either. Still, I'd buy the game if I were you. I'd actually buy at least 2 copies if I were you.
Oh, not this again!
The curtain lowers. Time to get on with the story!
The button of hope and the tragic warriors of despair. Well, this is kind of nostalgic, I guess. What should I do with this? Makoto Naegi was at a loss. Despite his hesitation, his situation was extremely simple and composed of 3 key factors. The first factor was that Makoto was currently locked inside a school. Hope's Peak Academy is a school for the privileged elite. Oh my God, we all know this. And each student attending possesses ultimate talent. Makoto was chosen to attend Hope's Peak Academy by a lottery held to select the ultimate lucky student. When he arrived for his first day of school,
everything went to crap!
He immediately lost consciousness, and when he woke up, he saw all the exits and windows had been sealed shut. Now, this time wasn't school mode, and it wasn't the regular game, so we have no idea what it is, but it's something. The next factor was Monokuma, a mysterious robot bear being operated by the mastermind, and the announcement he made to all the students.
"You'll be living your whole life in this academy,"
he declared.
"If you want to leave, then kill someone and become the Blackened."
This strange, remote-controlled robot was telling Makoto and his fellow Ultimates to start killing each other in exchange for their freedom. They learned that more than one Monokuma exists, and that each one contains a bomb to prevent anyone from attacking them. On top of that, Monokuma announced that anyone who attempted to harm him would receive punishment. The third and final factor, and this part is what's new, was the red button that Makoto was currently holding in his hand.
Oh, I see, the one that they used to open the door and get out.
The words escape button were crudely written on this button in marker. And though the first two factors were certainly causes for a panic, Makoto only seemed at a loss over the third. During his free time, Makoto noticed that the school store was open, and his curiosity got the better of it.
Uh-huh.
I mean, what would a place like that sell? And why would you want to buy these things? He was overwhelmed by the disjointed atmosphere upon entering, but his attention soon focused on a strange vending machine.
Yes, the Mono machine.
The words Mono machine were written on it, and it seemed to accept the strange bear-patterned coins they sometimes found inside the school. It seemed like a bad idea, but Makoto thought there might be a chance that this machine could dispense some way of escaping the school, somehow.
Oh, a blowtorch! I can just cut through the door!
And so he inserted the only coin he had into the coin slot. He should have examined some more things if he only had the one.
Only one, geez.
And the result was the escape button mentioned earlier. I guess there really is something that you can use to get out, right?
The ultimate lucky student.
There's a limit to how much you can tease us. This is ridiculous. Maybe the mastermind who trapped us in here is making a cruel joke.
What? I'm hurt that you would think I would make a mockery of everything.
These thoughts filled Makoto's mind, and he began to feel deeply discouraged. However, there's always a chance, right?
I mean, what does he have to lose?
What's gonna happen if he hits the button? It's gonna be bad? Why would you assume that? I mean, what if you just pulled out the berserker armor from this thing? Nothing bad's gonna happen if you put that on, right? Why is this in one of those little gotcha balls? Makoto is just an ordinary boy, and he only gained entry to Hope's Peak Academy through a lottery to find the ultimate lucky student. Maybe that luck was the real deal. If this button is real, maybe I can let Sayaka... Makoto took a deep, slow breath and pressed the button. Instantly, pain burst through his entire body.
I see. The bracelet with the number and a color on it injected its neurotoxin into him.
Uh-oh!
Oh, that's something else.
Ah! Makoto's arms and legs went limp as he lost his balance and fell to the floor in a crumpled heap.
Good lord.
He just got a prank. The end. As he breathed heavily, it dawned on him what had just happened. I got electrocuted? He looked down at the button in his hand and noticed a small needle sticking out of it, Billy.
I was partially correct.
You mean all those 999 references aren't just BS? Of course not. Makoto quickly surmised that an electric current must have been running through it.
On account of the electric current that ran through it into his body.
Logical? After regaining enough of his strength to stand back up, Makoto thought about it once again.
Getting electrocuted again?
Oh, I should have known. It was a fake. I wonder if I'll get electrocuted if I hit it again. Let's find out.
Hey, that means he's got a taser.
Ah! Just how sick and twisted was the mastermind?
Very.
My head still feels a little woozy. I should go back to my room and rest today. With that in mind, Makoto walked out of the school store with slow, careful steps. But he didn't know yet. If the escape button really was a fake, it would have been an act of mercy from the mastermind. A small, bear-shaped shadow began moving around inside the now empty school store.
It's Monokage!
What? The shadow, Monokuma, stood before the Mono machine and stared at it silently, wondering just why he had put the way out inside a stinking vending machine in the first place. But after some time had passed, he began to laugh. A cold, hollow laugh utterly devoid of emotion.
I already did that.
Cold and utterly devoid of emotion! Despite the fact that he was alone, Monokuma began to talk, almost as if he were speaking to someone.
He's gonna make fun of us now.
He's looking at the camera, of course. Perhaps Monokuma was talking directly to the mastermind controlling him because it works like that?
I have said before, my existence is my own. I only put that in the Mono machine because I thought it'd be interesting if one of the last few survivors happened to win it.
Instead, it happened right at the beginning.
Well, you know. But with a success rate of 0.0000001%, I never thought anyone would actually win it.
You missed a zero.
Perhaps I should have expected the ultimate lucky student to overcome such impossible odds.
Monokuma started blushing and breathing heavily for no apparent reason as the idea of his flagpole rising
Stuffing
filled him with pleasure. Oh my god. A robot like Monokuma doesn't need to breathe, but because his technology is super advanced, he can express himself like a living creature?
Are there robots that need to breathe? Makoto was chosen through a lottery, and now he's won the escape button through a lottery. This is obviously impossible, right? Is this what a miracle is?
Well, you know, if you win a lottery jackpot once, you're more likely to win it again.
Huh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Is this all systems go toward escaping? Have they raised that flag?
Quit talking about raising flags!
Is something that defies all common sense about to come crashing into my world? Well, even though I really don't want this at all, I'm starting to enjoy this new sensation. We'll be back after these commercials! Are you feeling lost? Are you seeking help? Perhaps your finances are suffering due to poor life choices? Are you holding out for a hero? Then give us a call at 1-800-HERO-FOR-HIRE. We offer reliable fortune telling, hard to find O parts, and fair market prices for your organs. On the run from debt collectors? Take advantage of our special opportunity and a slightly used identity. You too could be Makoto Naegi. Huh? That's 1-800-HERO-FOR-HIRE. 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 I'm not just the president, I'm also a client, or my name isn't Javier Ramirez.
Open up! This is the police!
No hablo español! And now, a word from our sponsors. Despair! That's the word from our sponsors.
Monokuma's internal machinery began running at full capacity, and his facial expressions began changing more smoothly than any humans could.
What the hell?
What does that mean? Suddenly, his expressions immediately stopped, and he whispered through his speakers.
Flagpole.
Why are you obsessed with this? Dude, go watch bear porn or something!
But is this really good luck?
After muttering something so ominous, Monokuma's loud, screeching laughter rang jarringly throughout the room. The situation that was about to unfold contained two conflicting emotions in equal measure.
Hope and despair? God dang it!
Yes? What am I waiting on? The next day, nighttime, student dormitory, Makoto's room.
4 p.m.
Makoto Naegi lay in his bed, desperately struggling with the despair and hope churning within him. Monokuma had forced the students to each watch a DVD earlier that day. Makoto showed a scene that suggested his parents and little sister were in danger, and he now found himself determined to leave the school. It seems the other students were forced to watch shocking videos of their own circumstances.
Yeah.
Videos so shocking that they were now determined to escape the school too, even if it meant sacrificing someone to do it. However, it was obvious that these videos were part of Monokuma's trap. As long as a student killed someone, they were allowed to graduate and leave the academy.
If they didn't get caught.
It seemed that the mastermind controlling Monokuma was hell-bent on making the students kill each other. But right now, Makoto was most worried about Sayaka Maizono, who seemed to be incredibly distressed after watching her DVD.
And borderline manic.
Sayaka wasn't just the ultimate pop sensation. She was also Makoto's classmate when they were students at Blackroot Junior High. Her optimism had been encouraging Makoto these past few days, and he was becoming a similar source of strength for her as well. If nothing else, I have to at least save Sayaka. As soon as Makoto thought that, he suddenly felt a small headache. Was he still reeling from being punched by Mondo the other day? Or was this a side effect of being electrocuted by the escape button?
Or maybe a little of both.
As Makoto pondered these things, the pain slowly subsided, and he returned to his determined thoughts of escape. Anyway, we all need to work together and... Huh?
The pain in your voice.
If they didn't want me to make it a thing, they shouldn't have made it a thing. I'm not the one who wrote the scenes. At that moment, Makoto realized his goal had changed slightly. We all need to. Ideally, it would be best if everyone survived together.
If everyone worked together and just ignored the mastermind, but we've already gone over this, so...
However, aside from Sayaka, Makoto had never met the other students before. He didn't know if they could even be trusted in the first place.
Especially that Byakuya fellow.
Or Celeste. It's like if he had his memories and knew that he knew them all, he would know that Celeste couldn't be trusted. But at that moment, he trusted them without even an ounce of suspicion. He believed they were worth helping even at the cost of his own life. Just like Sayaka. Why? The headache struck again. As if all the blood vessels in his brain were being individually sliced open.
Oh!
Why did I just think that I could trust the others as much as I trust Sayaka? Makoto tried to figure out why his thought process had suddenly changed. Something was wrong. The throbbing pain in his head seemed to synchronize with a strange feeling that something was approaching him. As a ray of light began to form within the dark recesses of his own mind, the doorbell rang.
I wonder who it could be.
Someone's here? He quickly got out of bed, but that only made the headache worse. Well, you know, the last time Makoto was laying in bed delirious with some sort of awful headache, Junko came in to try and assassinate him.
I know.
I also think it's funny that he does have the replica sword.
Of course.
With no concern for his safety, Makoto carelessly opened the door to his room and came face to face with Sayaka.
I'm really sorry to come by so late.
Sayaka? The pain. What are you doing out so late? The moment he saw her face, the pulsating pain in Makoto's head began accelerating. He felt like his world was being torn apart from the inside out.
Sorry to bother you, but something really weird just happened and... Makoto, what's wrong? You don't look so well.
Sayaka was pale and had been trembling when she came to Makoto's room, but she seemed surprised to see that his complexion was worse than her own. Oh, yeah, I'm fine. It's just my head.
'Cause I punched him!
Makoto couldn't finish his sentence. His eyes rolled back into his head as he lost consciousness and slowly fell to the floor.
Game over!
And Sayaka's beautiful voice let out a scream as she stood over Makoto's body.
Ah! I was wondering how far it was going to get before it diverged from the Makoto route? Kyoko route? How should we view this?
The normal route? The common route.
The common route, yes. Now we're on the Mukuro route.
The next day, the nurse's office.
I don't know who's speaking this line.
Oh, you're awake. Hey, you okay? How many fingers am I holding up?
17.
As Makoto regained consciousness, he was greeted by the sight of fingers adorned with those really tacky, long, fake nails being waved in his face. Hey, that's a nice hand you've got there.
Oh God, get him out of here!
Ah!
The nostril flare is quite epic.
You're Junko, right? Hey, why do you sound so unsure? It's like I'm not Junko or something. I'm a little shocked to hear you say that. Who else would wear these garish, horrible fake nails?
Don't speak to me about being shocked.
Despite what she said, Junko Enoshima, the ultimate fashionista, was laughing as if she found this all very amusing. Makoto looked around and realized he'd never seen this place before. It looked somewhat like a hospital. 3 beds, including his own, were lined up in the room with various medical instruments laid around them. The black ceiling felt strangely oppressive, but as he sat up, Makoto's mind immediately centered on one possibility. Where are we? Did we get rescued? That'd be nice, huh?
Unfortunately.
She replied as she looked away. Junko explained that this was the nurse's office on the first floor of the academy, and I guess we couldn't get in there for a while.
Yeah, we weren't able to get in till after the first murder, right?
Something like that. That Monokuma thing said, I can't bear to see my precious students getting sick or some crap, and so he opened this place up this morning.
And it was so grisly, too.
But don't you think it's suspicious? What if all these meds that I've been giving you are poison? To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised. Makoto remembered his encounter with the escape button and let out a small sigh. So why am I here, Junko? You should thank Sayaka for that. She was here the whole night, taking care of you. It's so romantic. Need to wipe my tear. Ow, I poked my eye! She was? Junko ignored Makoto's surprise and continued casually talking.
As she always does.
But then Taka got all fired up and was like, Brum!
We should take turns watching over him!
That was a pretty good impression, wasn't it? I just happened to be on duty when you woke up.
What are you talking about? I'm standing right here.
Ah! Well, and even then, only because Byakuya ditched. Of course he did. I see. Thanks. Like I said, you should thank Sayaka. Anyway, how are you feeling? Is everything all right? Huh? Makoto thought about it for a moment and remembered what he'd been thinking about just before he lost consciousness.
And lost consciousness again.
Poof. This is kind of weird, but actually it's a really weird question, but yeah, what's up? Junko, we've never met each other before, right?
Well, I mean,
Upon hearing this, Junko's eyes widened. But a few seconds later, she began to laugh. Huh? Are you for real? That pickup line is like so totally played out, you know? Even though she was grinning, a serious look came over her face. Just so you know, you shouldn't expect anything like that from me. I know I look this way, but I take my virtue pretty seriously. What? No, I mean, I never expected...
That wasn't what we were talking about!
Well, that's what I figured. It's obvious that you're a total omega male anyway. Not even worthy of being a beta or even a delta.
That's okay. She'll hook him up with one of her aggressive friends.
That's what she said. Makoto and Junko continued to talk to one another. Although he wondered why Junko was talking to him instead of leaving to get the others, Makoto didn't question it. He just wanted to talk to someone. Anyone.
She probably did too.
Probably so. As long as he interacted with his fellow students, he believed he would learn the truth about what was going on inside his head. 10 minutes later, Junko mostly talked about alpha males and omega males, her time being homeless, and about her past and her dreams for the future.
See her FTEs for further details.
Or she's having an FTE with Makoto.
Oh!
The last topic was a lot heavier than the previous ones, but Makoto's calm demeanor seemed to cheer her up. She smiled sincerely and said softly, "Thanks, Makoto." Maybe it was a sign of gratitude for listening to her troubles, but she kept that same smile as she blurted out something horrifying.
Stab!
In return, I promise that if I do decide to kill someone, it won't be you. Don't say scary stuff like that! Besides, if you decided to kill someone and got away with it, then I'd still die!
I mean, don't sweat the small stuff, Makoto.
At least that's what Makoto thought. But the words that came out of his mouth expressed a different sentiment. I see. Thanks. But I wouldn't want you to become the Blackened in the first place. For some reason, Makoto felt like the murderous words that came out of Junko's mouth seemed like a natural thing for her to say. She seemed very surprised by Makoto's response and quickly blurted out, "What? Are you serious? I was just kidding." Huh? Ah! Oh yeah! Of course!
Cue awkward laughter.
Sorry for acting so weird. No worries, let's just chalk this up to you being woozy from your recovery, getting electrocuted a couple of times, and being punched. She returned to her usual bubbly self, let out a big stretch, and turned to Makoto. I'm gonna get going now. Make sure you don't get killed before the next person arrives.
Shouldn't you wait for the next person to come before you leave?
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Anyway, see you later. After seeing her off, Makoto laid back down on the bed and started thinking to himself. What is the strange feeling, like everything I've been told is a lie? His dull headache continued as his thoughts began to blur. I was just talking to Junko, but for some reason I couldn't shake the feeling deep inside my heart like I was talking to someone else.
Does everyone at home get it yet?
Who is she? The more he thought, the more it felt like his memories were sinking into a thick swamp. Each throb of pain pulsing in his head felt like a wave on the surface of that swamp. What is this feeling? It felt very unpleasant, as though someone's voice was screaming at him from inside his head. Makoto tried to organize his thoughts and go over everything that had happened to him, but he was interrupted by the sound of a bell. Unlike the dorm rooms, the nurse's office didn't have a doorbell.
I guess a body has been discovered.
What? The bell sound that Makoto heard was ringing throughout the entire building.
Ahem, ahem. Testing. Mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Syllabus. This is a test of the school broadcast system.
Maybe he's just saying go to bed.
Maybe.
It was Monokuma's voice.
Now that Makoto has finally woken up, please assemble at the gym.
Makoto listened to Monokuma's heartless order and got out of bed without complaining. I have to go. He walked one step at a time in accordance with the rhythm of his throbbing headache. What a weird thing to walk in step with. Slowly, he walked forward, not knowing if where he was headed was heaven or hell.
The gym? Makoto, are you all right?
Sayaka ran over to Makoto as soon as he entered the gym. Yeah, thanks. Sorry about yesterday. I guess I really worried you, fainting in front of you like that, as if I had been murdered.
I know, right before I could finagle you into being my decoy.
What? Please don't apologize!
That was my line. Please don't apologize. I'm sorry too. I barged into your room when you weren't feeling well.
Sorry! I got distracted from the script when you were talking about using me as a decoy! Now that you mention it, said Makoto, what the heck happened yesterday? Maybe I did something really good by passing out in front of you.
Oh!
Sayaka looked away for a brief moment. Guilty on the inside. That was not guilty, but immediately turned back, smiled her pop sensation smile, and shook her head.
It's nothing. I'll tell you some other time.
Eh? While they were talking, Kiyotaka Ishimaru, the ultimate moral compass, stepped forward, pointing an accusatory finger at Makoto.
You're late, Makoto! Explain why you were tardy!
I was dying in the nurse's office. Is that okay with you, sir?
No, it isn't! Give me your stylish hoodie!
No, it's my hoodie, and you can't take it! The other students collectively raised their eyebrows at this silly, ridiculous crap, as if they were thinking, why is this guy yelling at someone who is sick? However, Makoto just smiled gently and answered him honestly. I didn't feel well, so I was resting in the nurse's office. Can you note that in the daily logbook?
Daily logbook? I see! That's consistent with my information. If that's the case, then I shall consider this matter settled. Now, what was this about a girl visiting you at your room?
No, falls down, eyes roll back. The conversation progressed, let us call it smoothly, and Kiyotaka smiled as he kept talking.
I'll take full responsibility for recording it. You just focus on recovering. If you ever feel if you ever feel like an eel, please report to the health committee.
What are you talking about, and what's the health committee? I'm sorry, I'm not in this game, but I'm not in this game, so I can't help it.
It seems we'll need to appoint health committee members after this meeting, though.
Kiyotaka walked away, mumbling to himself about stupid organizational garbage that's actually really useful in the long run. As he opened a daily logbook he found in the Academy's supply room and decided he was going to arbitrarily use. Celestia Ludenberg, if that is her name, the ultimate gambler, saw the whole conversation and walked up to Makoto. Despite his unreasonable behavior, you knew exactly what to say to him.
Haha, she's sharp.
As soon as Celeste said that, it dawned on Makoto. It's true that he didn't feel well and that he'd been resting in the nurse's office.
What if the electrical charge jump-started his memory?
That's what seems to be the case, yeah.
Oh.
And so with one person having a little bit more of a memory, then blah blah hope.
It's easier for him to wrangle them, sort of?
Yeah.
Like convince them? He knows how to talk to them all.
They don't feel like strangers. But when Kiyotaka asked him why he was late, even though he should have already known the reason, Makoto didn't feel annoyed or disappointed at all. He just reacted like he knew he would. It was as if he expected Kiyotaka to say that. Makoto felt strange that he had accepted Kiyotaka's personality so quickly. He couldn't understand why he asked Kiyotaka to do something as unnecessary as recording it in the daily logbook in the first place.
Because he knew that would be something to mollify him.
Yeah, it would be therapeutic. If Kiyotaka's like, oh, I have to keep track of this, then that's sort of like his grounding.
Yeah.
Why'd I say that? It's like I was used to it. Boy, talk about a presumably happy ending. Isn't this going to turn out really well?
It does feel like everyone's going to survive this time.
His response to Kiyotaka's demands came as naturally to him as breathing. Almost as if he'd known him for a few years. Why? Why? Every time he tried to think about it, his headache grew even worse. As Makoto struggled to think through the pain of his headaches, a black and white stuffed animal jumped out from behind the gym's podium and began twirling around as it spoke in a cheerful voice.
Hey guys, is everyone here?
No!
Are you sure?
He sounded like he was about to lead the students on a field trip, but not a single one of them had a smile on their faces.
What is it this time? Are we gonna hijack a cruise ship and run into a gigantic worm?
Why would you think that? Of course, there was one exception. Yasuhiro Hagakure, the ultimate, shall we say, clairvoyant, still believed that their current situation was some kind of planned event.
It's a trick!
Monokuma just ignored him and continued to address the students with his adorable voice.
Today I'm going to tell you about our wonderful academy system. System sure sounds like a great word, don't you think?
I don't want to build any backups!
It reeks of danger, just like a bear!
Or is that pheromones?
I want you all to trample over the deaths of your friends and grow up to have hardened hearts.
Oh, don't worry, I already do.
I know. It's good to be a little naughty. I want you all to grow poisonous personalities. I've already got you there. implying some of us aren't already poisonous.
After making his nonsensical introduction, Monokuma moved on to the next topic. With this, he began providing a detailed explanation of the most vile system in the school, the class trial.
No, you can't just kill someone. You gotta kill someone without anyone else finding out you did it.
Monokuma talked about his horrible graduation program with casual indifference. Is calling it graduation program really appropriate? But because a killing hadn't happened yet, his lecture didn't instill any despair in the students.
Wait, a killing hasn't happened yet? What have you all been doing?
As long as a killing never occurred, there'd be no point to the class trial. But no one could really say that a killing wasn't going to happen.
Well, why are you all looking at me? It wasn't my fault.
As the students' suspicions began to rise, Monokuma continued explaining the class trial until... Wait! Hold on a second! As Monokuma began to explain the executions that would serve as punishment, one girl stepped forward. Junko? As soon as he saw how angry she was, the rhythm of Makoto's headache began to change slightly. Oh! Hey, wait a minute! You're not accessing the morphogenetic field, are you?
Oh god, maybe he is!
You're freaking insane, you know that? The girl continued to complain angrily. She seemed completely different from the smiling person Makoto saw in the nurse's office. Huh? Was Junko always like that? No, she's different. That's how Junko acts, but... Is that person really Junko? Huh, wait a minute, what am I thinking? As Makoto struggled with his headache and confusion, Monokuma and the girl continued to argue.
Don't worry, Junko. You'll get my point in the end. What? Are you saying you're not gonna participate in the trial? Only punishment awaits such blasphemy.
What punishment?
I might, I don't know, throw you in a deep, dark, scary prison or something.
Different. The strange feeling he felt was now directed at Monokuma. A prison? No, they aren't that kind. A series of images flashed in Makoto's mind, and at first he thought it was some kind of parade. But he quickly realized that was a mistake. What looked like lights were actually buildings engulfed in flames. The red decorating the scene seemed to have come from human bodies. Despair. It wasn't confined to the Academy or even to Japan. Images of worldwide death and destruction flooded Makoto's brain with every throb of his headache. I've seen this before. I know what it is. Besides the indescribable violence taking place in all these images, there was one thing they had in common. Who are they? They're rampaging terrorists wearing black and white masks were wreaking havoc in these images. They took everything: money, valuables, lives, families, dignity, the past, the future, and possibly even hope itself. The masks these terrorists were wearing perfectly resembled the face of the stuffed animal arguing with the student before him. Shut the hell up! Say whatever you want! I'm not gonna be part of this!
But you already agreed to it. Don't be so selfish.
You're the one being selfish. Kill whoever you want. It's got nothing to do with me.
The evil's standing here before me. I'm trembling with fear. But I won't give in to such evil. I'm the hero after all. It's my style to stick it out and resist till the very end. If you really want to get out of here, you'll have to go through me first.
Monokuma swung his arms wildly as he charged at the girl with waddling steps.
I'm gonna get you right in the knees.
But the girl stomped on the self-proclaimed headmaster of the academy with ease, and I thought things were going to be different.
Makoto, please do something. Yume!
I'm sorry, did you just say Gyume?
What's it to you?
Are you enjoying yourself now?
Kind of, I can see up your skirt.
Ah! Pinned beneath the girl's foot, Monokuma looked up her skirt into the girl's cold eyes and calmly asked,
Are you?
Huh?
Violence against Headmaster Monokuma is not allowed. You violated a school regulation.
At that moment, a chill ran down Makoto's spine. She's going to get killed. Monokuma's words sounded very threatening to him. It wasn't a prediction nor a guess. It was as if he knew the danger Monokuma posed from the start. If this continues, Junko's going to... His mind still didn't fully grasp the situation unfolding in front of him. By the time he realized he was about to remember something, he was already running forward. Junko. The impact of his feet, combined with the rhythm of his headache, sending his brain and heart into a panic. No, she's different. She's... I
invoke the mighty summon spell. Help to me, godly spear Gungnir.
Monokuma wiggled beneath the girl's foot. I'm sorry, but Billy just... Monokuma wiggled beneath the girl's foot. It's supposed to be dramatic. You're ruining everything.
I'm method acting.
And let out a scream.
Ah!
God dang it, Billy! At that exact moment, Makoto charged at her and screamed out, Mukuro! Watch out!
Yeah!
Huh? The girl dressed as Junko Enoshima widened her eyes in shock. As if to evade the charging Makoto, she jumped back with agility unheard of in a teenage high school girl that wasn't Sakura. And then, right at that moment, countless spears pierced the spot where she had been standing just a split second ago. All the students, including the girl, stared wide-eyed at this sudden turn of events. Spears, too many of them to count, and shot out with blinding speed from mechanisms installed in the floor and walls of the gym. Thank you for mentioning that part, where they came from. I really thought that we were going to see something like that again, and was surprised that we never did, in 2 games.
Yeah.
However, Makoto was unable to notice this. Huh? Why did I call Junko Mukuro? Mukuro? As that thought entered his mind, a sharp, sudden impact struck his side, followed by an intense, deathly pain that ran down his spine and spread throughout his entire body. The spear stabbed into his side, instantly tore his flesh to shreds and shot out his back.
Good Lord.
Coated in blood and other bodily fluids. At that moment, the black fog that had engulfed Makoto's mind was consumed by death itself. And as his consciousness slowly faded, he remembered everything. Because of the electric jolt and the chemical compound from the escape button, because of that button that he had found by chance, Makoto Naegi managed to escape. He escaped this hopeless game where he and his fellow students had their memories stolen and were forced to kill each other. Of course, that escape is also what led him to his current life-or-death predicament.
You didn't think the escape would be that simple, did you?
In the end, perhaps he only escaped from one despair to fall into another. But at the same time, his actions had unintended consequences for one person. The girl living a false identity as her beloved little sister, Junko Enoshima. Mukuro Ikusaba, the ultimate soldier, and a member of ultimate despair. Her past, her future, perhaps even her hope itself, are on the path to despair.
Huh.
And so, the curtain falls on Makoto's story for now. From this point, the story is about a certain girl. A girl who's more pitiful than anyone else in this sealed-off academy. A new curtain, along with new despair, shall now rise. The ultimate fan fiction. The one without Makoto.
I hope he's okay.
Who knows?
He might just be in the hospital this entire time, but...
Well, it's fan fiction, so that means the author kills off all the characters he doesn't like brutally, and then writes about the characters he obsesses about, and then ships them all together.
All right, it's my time to shine. Seriously, I keep dying in all the demos, guys. Guys, it's my time to shine. 30%. Where are all my fans? Okay, I guess it's just me, all by myself.
Open up! This is the police!
No hablo español!